Hi, I'm the creator and writer of a short story called Who Flower Is It? It's a unique story between a boy and a girl, and they come together trying to put something together and it turns into a flower. I made a video version of it, and I hope y'all enjoy watching it. Please enjoy.
Whose flower is it? This is a story about a small little boy named Lee who was given a large seed on the day he was born. This young boy was told long ago that when the right time comes, he should find a special pot to put the seed in order to make it grow. One day, the young boy went to school and ran into a special friend of his. Her name is Sarah. Sarah and Lee have been best friends ever since kindergarten. The two have done everything together, and they never had a conflict at all. One day the two were in the same class together, and they had a show and tell, and they both brought special items to show to the class. Lee was first to show his special item that he had ever since he could remember. It was a big giant seed. The kids were amazed by the size and the shape of the giant seed. Next up was Sarah, and she showed off her special possession that she had since she could remember, which was a small plant pot with fertilizer that's been in the family for years. Lee and the other kids were simply amazed by how pretty the pot was. When recess began, Sarah and Lee met in their favorite spot in the playground behind a big giant tree. Sarah goes to Lee and asks him if she can hold on in examining the seed for herself. Lee said, "Sure, I don't see no problem with that," and Lee handed the seed to Sarah. Sarah is amazed by the size of the seed and says, "What will happen if we put the seed in my pot of fertilizer?" Lee responds, "I don't know. Let's find out." Lee takes his giant seed and puts it inside of Sarah's pot deep in the fertilizer, and the first thing Lee says is nothing's happening. Sarah laughs at Lee and says, "I think you have to wait a while for something to happen." Lee replied by saying, "How long do I wait for what's going to happen?" Sarah replies and says, "I think you have to wait about 9 weeks to see what will come out of it." So the two put the pot with the seed inside of it on top of the shelf in the classroom and decided to wait 9 weeks to see what would come out of it. Lee and Sarah felt very detached, for this was the first time they were left without their special items. 9 weeks have passed and both kids checked on the pot and they were amazed to see something come out of it. Look, a baby sunflower. Both kids were amazed at how beautiful the sunflower looked. Lee was so amazed, and he said, "I cannot wait to take my beautiful baby sunflower to show to my family." Sarah looked at Lee and said, "What do you mean you're taking this sunflower home?" "I'm taking my sunflower home to show to my family." Lee was shocked and surprised by Sarah's reaction and said, "What do you mean your sunflower?" "It was my seed after all." Sarah replies, "The seed was in my pots and resting underneath my fertilizer. I have every right to that sunflower just as much as you do, if not more." Lee said to Sarah, "How do you figure that you are the owner of the sunflower?" Sarah said, "This was my fertilizers. Your seed could never have grown into a sunflower." Lee replied by saying, "Well, without my seed, your pot of fertilizer would never have a flower in it." Eventually, the teacher hears the two kids arguing and asks both of them to explain what's going on. Both kids tell the teacher the situation, and the teacher tells both kids that the flower belongs to the both of them and they need to decide a peaceful way to share the flower together. Both kids felt very entitled to the sunflower and could not come up with a diplomatic solution to their problem. At the end, the decision to take the flower home was left to a coin toss. Who do you think has the right to the sunflower at the end of the story?
Hello, welcome back. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. That story is basically the book of Who Flower Is It? And the book is going to be available on Barnes& Noble and it's going to be on Amazon. The book pretty much have the same contents that you saw on the video. It's a really nice looking book. The animation of the video is really nice, but the book kind of helps you really sit down and have a talk with your students, or for a therapy session. It could be good for even families, just who is going through a little conflict. It just breaks it down for them. I hope y'all will look up this book on Amazon and on Barnes& Noble. It's on sale, physical or digital ebooks. Like, subscribe, ring a ding on the bell, and I hope to hear from y'all. I hope I hear some comments, and I hope everybody can, have a nice mature discussion. See y'all later.